Inspired by the life of the savvy and ambitious Colombian businesswoman Griselda Blanco comes a new Netflix original limited series. Griselda tells the story of a devoted mother who, with her lethal blend of charm and relentless savagery, creates one of the most powerful cartels in history. Witness Sofia Vergara's captivating transformation into the godmother of the underworld. Griselda, streaming January 25th, only on Netflix.
Girl, real talk. This whole "it's a new year, time to reinvent myself" trash is not the vibe for 2024. You can find someone who loves you for you, as you are. You don't need to read a stack of self-help books, only eat sad salads, or start meditating at 5 a.m. to be ready for dating. So yeah, my advice is to download Bumble and find someone who embraces you the way you are right now. Let me know how it goes.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Caroline, you should tell them about the newest thing that Bloody Happy Hour is doing.
A Patreon.
It's a Patreon. What is that?
That means you're basically like a VIP member, and you get some perks. You maybe get merch a little earlier. You get
exclusive merch.
You could get first dibs on signing up for a live show. You get episodes with no commercials.
You get our video because our video is no longer available on YouTube. It is only on Patreon. And the most important to me is you get videos of our live shows, but also bonus episodes each month. But if you're on a Patreon, you're VIP, you're going to get more.
Because I always have a lot of details I want to go to. I can law-splain. I might read a book.
This is also going to be the exclusive place that Dirty Chat is going to go to. In order to hear the full content, it's going to be Patreon. Where do they go again?
Patreon.com/BloodyHappyHour.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this is your Bloody Happy Hour. Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
Hey y'all, this is April.
And this is Caroline.
And I'm their friend Shelby.
That's Shelby. We have a random guest. She was just walking outside the front of Alico.
Yeah, and we just we're like, hey girl, do you want to be on the podcast? She had on
a short dress, and
we thought she was working the streets.
DTF.
Yeah. DTF. The original DTF. But she's not. No, actually, tell us who Shelby is, Caroline.
Okay, so do y'all remember there's that one time in May a couple years ago where it was a Cinco de Mayo party, and I went and I wrote a letter or a little note and I put it in somebody's mailbox, and the somebody was Ross, this guy Ross, and I was like, okay. A couple years later, I make some new friends, and then I meet this one, and I was kind of telling her about the podcast, and turns out this bitch is cousins with Ross.
Yes.
We've come full circle. And she's yet to fix y'all up? No.
Yeah, we're not going there.
Not going to happen.
No, we're friends now. It could be a conflict of interest.
Okay.
What if y'all fell in love?
What if it's a conflict of interest? And then I found out that one of another
your other
friend dated him for a while, and so then
Two conflicts.
Yeah, so it was just a really I didn't know anybody knew. I didn't even know who. I just knew the first name. Once I knew his last name, I was like, oh, I do know this guy, but I never knew that was who he was. I just knew his first name.
I mean, if it's not Ross Geller from Friends, it's got to be that Ross. There's only two Rosses in the world.
You're right. But
Ross the boss.
Speaking of Friends, did you see all that stuff coming out about Chandler? I'm so sorry, April.
What else came out? I know he got honored at the Emmys.
Yeah, he died.
that
already wasn't
our thing and all
That's
this.
old.
Yeah, I know, but
We talked about it on the podcast. I wish you
Okay.
had a memory.
I do, but I didn't think we talked about anything that was pretty bird.
You're so nice and tall.
Okay, so what we do on our episodes is we always put our guests through a series of questions. But first, our sponsor is BetterHelp.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp. You know what? And it's 2024, and it's just time to get your life together.
Get it together. You need to be helped better.
Best way to do that is go to church and go to therapy. So, guess what? We got a discount for you, Caroline.
Yes.
What's your part? I don't know what it is.
So like, maybe you're trying to get yourself in line in this next year and you may have benefited from therapy in the past. I know that April has had some situations with her former therapist, and so she's probably going to start doing BetterHelp. And if you choose to do it, I mean, you can give it a try. All you have to do is go to betterhelp.com. That's betterhelp.com/bloody. And you can give it a try. It's all online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suitable for your schedule. You can fill out a short questionnaire, and you'll get matched with a licensed therapist. And you can switch therapists at any time if you're like, this person's lame. Or
and you get a
I have bad
10%
one.
discount.
And you get a 10% discount. What's there to lose?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Make yourself better with BetterHelp.
Let me add in that my first therapist was horrible. My second therapist was great. So I don't
Good.
want my second therapist to hear this and think she's the one.
Second therapist, we are actually referring to first therapist, so do not be offended, please. Thank you.
Okay. So, questions.
You go first.
Well, Shelby.
Well, let's get to know our guest.
Yeah.
So, what do you do? And what? Just tell us a little bit about yourself. How about that?
Hi, my name is Shelby. I am a Waco native like these two, and I teach a women's fitness class. It's very low impact. It's here in Waco called Pure Barre, and it's my absolute passion. Nothing helps you more than a good therapist and working out.
Look at that.
There we go.
Mhm.
It's at D1, right?
No, I work at Pure Barre. Our friends
Oh,
kind of go to both, but D1's a great one too.
Yeah.
And I do like that workout, but Pure Barre makes me so sore on my days off. I just can't work out anywhere else.
So it's kind of
Nice.
like, it's not yoga. But it's like you work on like the tiny muscles that don't get used when you're lifting weights.
Yeah, like small isometric
Support.
movements that really fatigue the muscle groups a lot quicker, so you can get those results. And we're hitting those muscles that are really aesthetic that women need, that you're not going to get in everyday life. And it's also really good for posture as an aging woman, and also for prenatal recovery and preparation. Like, you're going to have it if you're a pregnant woman right now, you might have an easier birth if you would to engage in this.
Oh,
I
so
think I'm
maybe you won't pee
sold.
on yourself every time you sneeze if you
Exactly.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
so how do people...
Strengthen your pelvic floor.
If somebody
Yeah.
wants to go to take a class, what do they do? How do they go? Is there a website? What do they do?
Yes, you can go to Pure Barre Waco, and anyone that's a local Waco native can have a free class first to see if it's something they're going to vibe with, and we want to work with you to make sure it's, the right workout for you. Pure Barre is great for everybody, and depending on what city you're in, I'm sure your local Pure Barre city, your local Pure Barre studio is going to give you that first free class.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Okay.
great. It's a
Oh,
big
it's a
franchise.
chain.
It's a
It's a
big
franchise.
franchise
Okay.
around the country. and
Okay.
Just helping motivate women and keeping us in shape and feeling good.
And I feel like it's fairly new. Like,
Oh,
Barre,
actually, no.
was
It's
it around?
from 2001. We've
Yeah.
been around
So,
a while.
yeah. Like,
I mean, that's 24 years ago.
I guess I do got a kid that was born in. It's 22. Okay, that was
I know
22
we're
years
old,
ago.
April. We're old. We have to
No,
face
you're
it.
not. That's not like you're not
But
old.
I did go take a bar class in LA when I went to visit
that was a
like a
good one.
long, like when it first was.
Please take my class. I've asked you so
I
many
know.
times.
I'm gonna take your class. I'm gonna take your class because I liked it. I need to do that because I have issues with like my neck and like the small tiny muscles that don't ever get worked because I'm always doing whatever.
The big ones, yeah.
And I'm going to take this.
It's my
class.
passion. It's helped my life in so many ways, almost as much as my therapist.
Yay.
I've been the same one for 6 years, and she's an angel.
Okay, Pure Bar,
I love
Pure
it.
Bar, Pure Bar.
P-U-R-E.
B-A-R-R-E?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you said you're a Waco native, but you went to Alabama
I did. It was a beautiful 4 years.
and Tuscaloosa. What's it called?
Tuscaloosa.
Tuscaloosa. So, were you in mourning all week after the announcement?
I've been in mourning since we lost to UT.
Oh, you've been mourning for a long time.
Girl, yes, I
No.
emotionally checked out from football. It's usually something that brings me joy, just angst this year.
Yeah.
Because I knew the
Oh,
Cowboys
no, so
would let me down.
we're not bringing you joy with this conversation.
Oh, no, and your podcast is a mouth burner, but I like that. It's very interesting.
And are you excited about the new coach coming in?
I mean,
Wait, who's coming in?
I forgot what his name was. He's like a blonde guy.
He was at Washington. The Washington head coach
Oh, that's good.
Wow.
is coming in.
I'm sure he'll do a great
He's just
job.
And he
bouncing
just
out on
turned-
Washington like that?
He
Nick
turned around that
Wow.
program, and now he's
Yeah, sounds
going
like
over
a good
there.
guy.
But he's turned around multiple programs.
But apparently Nick still has like an open line into their coaching staff at all times. Like that's what I was reading, that like he can still kind of help as like a little bit.
Fun fact about Nick Saban, I'm a college football fan, is Alabama put in his contract that he will always be the highest paid football coach ever.
I love
So
that.
like when Jimbo Fisher got paid whatever amount of millions of dollars, Nick Saban would automatically get a raise just to get more money. He has to be the highest paid college
So
football
beautiful.
coach. Isn't that cool?
That
He
is
deserves
really
it.
cool. He really does.
He deserves it. Okay, so my first question for our guest is, if you were to get murdered,
Okay.
what TV, so not real, TV, investigator, reporter, police, detective, would you want investigating your murder?
Are we talking about like if you're on a Dateline and you want somebody to do, or is like,
I just, either, any of them.
so like if you're murdered and then you're like appear and your story was on like Dateline or 2020, who would you want narrating it? Is that what you're at? Or is
No,
you're
I
at
said, who, well, it
Who
can,
would
you
you
could
want
say
to
that, but who do
investigate
you
it?
want, what detective do you want to solve your murder? So let's do solving.
Yeah, I
first.
don't, but I wouldn't know a detective. Okay, you went.
TV
I
detective.
know
She knows.
exactly
she
who
knows.
I want.
She's got it.
I wasn't
Okay.
asking you the question,
I know,
Caroline.
I know.
What an only
Do y'all
child.
remember that cute older man in the original CSI?
Horatio,
Yeah.
the redhead?
No, he
No,
was in
he had
Miami.
like whitish hair, and I was when I was a little girl, and that show first came out, and they had like super fake looking dead bodies, and he was just cute, so cute. I want that guy to solve my murder.
Okay.
Or can it be like a movie person?
Yeah, it can be just a fake detective that you've seen on a movie, watched on a show.
You know, I trust all those fake ones because they always do the best job. So like, definitely like what was his name? It was from original CSI, and he was so cute. I want that guy. I don't know. That's all
Okay.
I got. That
Okay.
was such a good question,
Okay.
though. I had a real crush on him growing up.
Somebody, we did this in my book club, and somebody was like, I want Dexter to do it because he would get justice. He'd find out what it is, and then he'd kill him, and I would
love
get
that.
justice.
Loved.
yeah.
Oh, I wish I'd said that.
See?
Well, so I was thinking
Dang.
like, who would you want to narrate your story if you were on like a
So if you're on,
show?
yeah,
like if you were on, like,
2020 or Dateline.
Oh, I want Morgan Freeman to do it so it stays classy. I want it to
yes!
stay classy,
Well, it's
and I
like-
want it to sound beautiful in like a very tragic
Yes.
way.
so there.
Okay, so then, wait. So if there were made a movie about your murder, who would you want to play you?
Oh my God. Okay, I want her to be taller than me. And I'm thinking like, what age do I get murdered at? Because that matters.
35.
Oh, okay. Oh shoot.
Jinx, not
Well,
Jinx.
I was gonna say like hopefully I would be murdered at like 45, and then I could get Reese Witherspoon to do it.
Oh, I think that would.
Okay, yeah.
She's done good. She was in the HBO.
She's a great
the
actress.
new-
I need to watch that.
The New Lies, Life is the New Lie, or something about the new.
She just seems so intelligent for like a short blonde, and like I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's
Oh
really
my
good.
God, yes, that was fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was good. Those were like 4 questions. But how do you feel about pineapples and red mulch?
I love both of those things. I like red mulch because it kind of makes especially if you have like a sweet potato vine, it makes that neon green just really pop.
Oh, look at her.
And then pineapples are just super yummy, especially if you get them in Hawaii or you put them on a pizza. Like, love that.
So you can tell she hasn't listened to all the episodes.
No, I've only really heard I've only heard the one about my cousin, and I'm trying to get more into podcasts. And I love you guys, like, as humans. So I'm definitely gonna listen to this one.
Greetings, Earthlings.
So can you tell her what pineapples in?
Pineapples actually represent swingers, but it's typically upside down. But at this point, I think it's just the pineapple in general. And then red mulch.
Swingers.
Well, because red mulch, and then April decided to get red mulch, and so then we decided. I was like, well, shit, you got something to tell me, because that's also another thing about swingers. Allegedly.
So upside pineapples on a cruise ships. If you have an upside down pineapple on your door, that means that plays well with others is what they say on the thing. Plays well with others.
I didn't know that when you asked me that.
I know, that's the point.
No, I think I did. I did know the pineapple thing. I feel like I knew that.
I think you did. Shoot. Also, what was the other one?
Porn. Oh, when was the first time you were exposed to porn? How old were you?
I don't remember.
Like, for example, my cousin and I found a video on a shelf we were cleaning, and then it was and we put it in and we watched it, and it was like porn. And we were like, oh, what is this?
Oh,
but then
actually,
kids,
I do know when I was.
Some parents give the kids the magazine, and they're like, go to town, bro.
Oh, not mine.
Yeah, so
I had like a trauma flashback when you were saying that. So one time I was scrolling down. Remember how TVs like used to, like, at the very bottom there'd be like some like sinister ones, you know? So I saw one, and I was really into golf, and the title of it was Tigers Got Wood. And so I clicked this, and I purchased it, and then I was like, oh my God, that's not Tiger Woods. What's happening? And then like I had
She's like a big golfer.
Yeah, it was like, but I thought it was like a movie about Tiger Woods, maybe. I don't know. I really loved him at the time, and you know, like, I was a kid in that age.
That is the best story. Tigers
Got Wood. Good. I think
is that going to go on the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's been way worse than this.
Okay. Yeah. Do you ask the same questions to everyone?
Similar.
Just about.
We do the porn ones, but the
golf.
other ones we just switch it up every now and then.
Right.
I have a last one that I thought about. I don't know what I was listening to, but remember we used to play at our events, Caroline, when we were with CG, Marry, Fuck, Kill.
Oh, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So anybody famous?
No, you have to give the three people, and then she has to assign them to which.
Oh,
you know,
Can it just be open?
I mean, I guess it can be.
Anybody
But
you want.
So anybody famous, who would you marry? Who would you fuck? Who would you kill?
Okay, are you going to give me the three, or do
No,
I need to like make
open.
it up?
I don't want to think.
All right. Okay. So we have Clint Eastwood, Robert Redford, and Ryan Reynolds. And I'm going to kill Ryan Reynolds right away. And I'm going to F Robert Redford. And I'm going to marry Clint Eastwood.
Oh, she likes old men.
No, but you can pick them up for whatever age you want, right?
Huh?
yes.
Okay. Actually, like, I'm going to change it. I'm still killing Ryan Reynolds.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But then I'm going to F Ryan Gosling, and then I'm going to marry Robert Redford, and I want him in that movie.
You added Ryan Gosling. You said Clint Eastwood first.
Okay, you know, just throw him out.
Okay.
We'll throw him out.
He got
I
too
got
old.
a new one.
Okay.
And then we're gonna take Reynolds. And then we're gonna marry Redford, but I want him in that movie where they're bandits, and then the policia kills him at the end. What is it? Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I want him in that movie.
Oh, you want that one.
Yeah.
You want the old school Western.
Yes,
You know what?
ma'am.
You know what? Who I would like? Richard Gere.
Oh, yeah, Pretty Woman Richard.
Oh,
what a heart
God.
though.
He is a silver fox.
He is.
Grr.
Whew. I don't care if he's 85. Here
The
we
Bradley
go.
Cooper is always the
Oh,
love that guy.
take the wheel.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Girl, real talk. This whole "it's new year, time to reinvent myself" trash is not the vibe for 2024. You can find someone who loves you for you, as you are. You don't need to read a stack of self-help books, only eat sad salads, or start meditating at 5 a.m. to be ready for dating. So yeah, my advice is to download Bumble and find someone who embraces you the way you are right now. Let me know how it goes.
Okay, Caroline, where are we going today? Who are we talking about?
We are going to Rhode Island, and we're going to talk about Claus von Bülow and Sonny von Bülow.
Claus and Sonny.
And you know what? The reason that I came upon this case is, well, I do have a coworker who is very into true crime. So she comes to my office, and she's the one who tells me a 10-minute story, but she tells about 50 different stories in 10 minutes.
Oh.
Or she'll go into tangents and say this, and I'm like, typically people would be like, I don't understand what you even just, I understand everything that she said. And I am totally tracking with her, and I'm like, this can't be good. But okay, this is where we are, and I'm here for it.
Okay.
So she's talked to me about this case, and then a lot of the stuff about, Alan Dershowitz, who's an attorney, he is the one who was on, he did stuff with Epstein.
I was going to say, all these names sound familiar.
Alan, he was on O.J. Simpson's trial.
Which one? First or second?
Well, because the second was a civil, so he was on the first one, the actual criminal trial. Mm-hmm. And then he went and did all these other ones, and he's mainly an appellate attorney, I think, at this point.
Okay.
And so that's where he comes into play in this story. But it was a pretty big deal because it was one of the biggest, it's like you have rich people, wealthy, and you have a murder, and you have all the things, and tabloids were going crazy. So it's a wild story, but I'm going to start it off with.
So rich and famous?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't famous. They were just rich. Like they were like heirs and like princes, and all this
murder can happen to anybody.
Listen, I know, and so but it just makes it even more salacious and even a little bit more better.
Oh yeah,
it's like these
affluenza.
Oh yeah. Okay, here we go.
Her with insulin.
Okay.
All right, Willard, thank you. They called it the trial of the century. In fact, it was two trials. Socialite Claus von Bülow was accused of trying to kill his wife, wealthy heiress Sonny von Bülow, by injecting her with insulin. The first trial found him guilty, but after a successful appeal for a new trial, the second verdict, with a different set of attorneys, was different.
Not guilty.
Joining us now is Alan Dershowitz, Harvard law professor and the lawyer who won the appeal and masterminded the second successful trial. In his book, Reversal of Fortune, Mr. Dershowitz tells the inside story of this famous case. Good morning. Thank you. You are, by all accounts, a brilliant attorney. What did you do that was so brilliant the second time around it wasn't done the first?
Oh, it was all hard work. I had my secret weapon, my 18 students scurrying around all over the Harvard Medical School, the town of Newport, finding every possible piece of evidence that was simply not uncovered at the first trial. And I think we just persuaded the court by overwhelming evidence that Claus von Bülow didn't do it.
Claus von Bülow is a wealthy man. Did he buy his freedom? I mean, if he'd been a regular Joe, he'd be behind bars right now.
Well, everything was bought in this case. The prosecution was bought in the sense that the people who prosecuted him, the family, was much, much wealthier than he was. They hired a private lawyer, private investigators. They were able to do things that no public prosecutor can do. So wealth played a major role on both sides of this case. In fact, in my book, I disclosed that I think this was the most expensive criminal trial in the history of this country, the most televised and the most expensive criminal trial in history.
Really? But worth it to von Bülow,
well,
obviously.
He had no choice. If the butler had been accused, I don't think the butler could have gotten a fair trial in this case. He simply wouldn't have had the resources. Forget about the lawyers'
What does it say about the system?
It says some very negative things about the system. If a person doesn't have the money to hire, first of all, a decent lawyer, second of all, to get the kind of resources you need to investigate a complex case like this, very likely a person could be convicted even if he were innocent.
Did you have to get von Bülow's confidence obviously his confidence, but his approval to waive the client-lawyer relationship in order to write this?
No, this is my book. I told him when I took the case, I am a law professor. I take cases. I write books. I'm not going to ask him for his permission. I'm writing my book. He's going to write his book. And he told me, go ahead, write it, warts and all. Paint me, warts and all. And I do paint him, warts and all. This does not paint a completely one-sided, flattering picture of Claus von Bülow. It tells the truth.
You are really two different individuals, you and Claus von Bülow. You were, in fact, surprised that he called you, right?
I was very surprised. I don't know where he even heard of me. I mean, I'm travel in different circles from where he travels. I would never be allowed into Newport, considering my background. And I was a little surprised that he went to a lawyer like me to represent him.
What do you think of him? I mean, the heck with his guilt or innocence. What do you think of Claus von Bülow? Do you like him? Do you respect him?
I tried very hard not to like him. I don't like basically what he stands for and his lifestyle and the Newport lifestyle. But it turned out that he is a very funny man, a very warm man, despite his austere external appearance.
Is an adjective that a lot of people would apply.
It's amazing. When he was in there waiting for the jury to come back with their verdict in the second case, we sat there and we had this warm, funny conversation. You know, it's almost as if there are two Claus von Bülows, and he presses a button when he walks into a room. There's the public, austere Claus von Bülow, which he sits there, as his current woman friend put it, as if he were a mortician with an umbrella up his back. And then there's the warm Claus von Bülow, very caring. His daughter Cashapp is much more like the warm Claus von Bülow.
Do you have any ongoing relationship with him today?
Oh, yeah, we see each other all the time. We talk about his ongoing case. He's being sued by his stepchildren for $56 million. The case is not over, and indeed the American public still remains undecided. One of the reasons I wrote this book is Claus von Bülow not only wanted to be acquitted, he wanted to be vindicated. And there was a lot of evidence that didn't come out in either trial that I thought deserved to be known by the public, and it's contained in this book.
But no matter what, don't you think most folks are still gonna believe he did it?
You know, today, 50, 70 years after the Rosenberg case, the Sacco-Vanzetti case, people still don't know. It's one of the great mysteries, who done it, whether anything was done at all.
You have your own theories about who did it?
I have my own theories, yeah.
And they include?
They include the possibility that his children honestly believed that he did it, but also believed that they couldn't convict him of it, and so they may have remembered certain things and forgotten certain things and made it easier for him to be convicted the first time around. But the second time around, we had the evidence, we were able to persuade the jury.
So at best, maybe your client was negligent.
Well, that's certainly a possibility. He was accused of being unhusbandly. He was accused of having an affair. Those aren't crimes in America.
It's fascinating stuff. Alan Dershowitz, Reversal of Fortune inside the von Bülow case. It's always good to see you.
Thank you.
We're back in a moment.
Well, I hope I didn't ruin the whole story for you, but I had to say that, and this is an old case, so you should know about it anyways. And if you don't, then I'm going to tell you about it, and I'm going to give you all the details. So here we go. So he talked about this Reversal of Fortune. So this is a book that he wrote, Alan Dershowitz wrote, based on his experience in defending Claus von Bülow about this trial. Turned into a movie 5 years later. Glenn Close and some other Jeremy Irons guy.
Okay.
And this movie is in the 1990, I think, or 86 or 90, whatever. But I watched the movie.
Okay. What's it called? The whole movie from beginning
Reversal of Fortune. I've been watching things lately. And we haven't even talked about Saltburn. We will revisit that. We will circle back at the end to go with Saltburn. Okay, maybe that will be for our Patreons because it's pretty ratchet and raunchy.
Ooh, let me watch it, and we do need to do a Patreon.
Oh, it's good. It's raw. The dude F's the grave.
What?
Yeah.
I don't remember that part.
No. Yeah.
I definitely remember the
You would know he stuck his ding-a-lang in the dirt.
I might have looked away.
I didn't look away. I was watching the whole thing.
This movie was good, but like it was very traumatic. And honestly, like you gotta stick with it and finish it one time, but you don't need to rewatch a movie like that.
You have to rewatch it because you have to catch the scene, the things you
don't
didn't
think
see.
I physically can
I watched it twice,
it.
and I'm gonna watch it
like
again.
I got
So what does
enough
it say
good
about me?
movie from
You need
it.
repetition.
Well, you're good at murder. You're good at murder, girl.
So, Reversal of Fortune is the name of the book and the name of the movie. Blah blah. So it is So it's basically like he went out and wrote this book. Alan Dershowitz. Who is Alan Dershowitz? Back in the 1980s, he was the youngest law professor who went to become one of the most successful appellate lawyers in the country. And he dedicated the beginning of his career to a lot of pro bono work and work for a lot of the wrongfully convicted.
What's an appellate lawyer?
Appeal.
Yeah. So after the trial, everybody who's convicted gets the opportunity to appeal the case. So that's why they have to, like, when they're doing the trial, they have to say all these like extra words. It's for like
second chances lawyer.
Yeah, oh, if you don't say this or specify this or do this, it can come back to you on appeal. It can come back to you on appeal. You'll always hear that. And that just means that these typically I think they're always in the trial with them, just so they can, in case it goes to appeal, then they can go and they can make their case.
Bottom feeders.
So he was like either an appellate lawyer on cases, or he was the main defense attorney, or he was just like a consult. But he did work with like O.J. Simpson, Jeffrey Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, Julian Assange.
I mean, that's
like
all
guilty
people.
Yeah, I was like, those sound like icky lawyers.
He's
the
very
dirty
icky.
underbelly of the law field.
Yeah,
Is that what you're basically telling us? He's icky.
Yeah, you could tell.
I mean, but that's what do you think? That's what defense attorneys are. They're defending the worst of the worst, and he was really good at it. And so he won. I mean, they won OJ. Epstein allegedly killed himself.
Mm-hmm.
Weinstein, he gone. Julian Assange, there's just no hope for that guy.
Is he P. Diddy's lawyer too?
Maybe. He might be. He might be. But he's one of the most successful appellate lawyers in the country.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, but everybody,
like,
you've
so if you go to jail,
the name.
Like not Walking Dead lawyer, but the one from the show about, what's the show about meth?
Oh, Breaking Bad.
You know that dirty Breaking Bad lawyer? Is he an appellate?
Oh, Better Call Saul.
Saul, is
yes,
he an appellate?
He might be a Saul. He might Better Call Alan.
That's
Better Call Alan.
Guy.
And so he began his career. Yeah, a lot of pro bono and wrong. Maybe he's gonna represent Scott Peterson in his wrongful.
Obviously, yeah.
God, if he does, oh my God, he's so old.
We got a few cases for you.
This case is one of the first high-profile cases that he took on. So, what is it called? Reversal of Fortune. Reversal, not Wheel of Fortune. Reversal of Fortunes. I have to say that to myself so I will remember. That's the name. So, it's about this. Apparently, this is one of the longest cases in Rhode Island history, and this is the case of Claus Van Bülow attempted to murder his wife, Sunny Van Bülow. And so this is what and this is
attempted to murder.
You see that picture?
Yeah.
That's their house.
Beautiful. Nice pool.
Versailles.
It's pretty much an estate. So basically the movie starts off with like the scene showing that all of these mansions, and it's almost like estates and castle after castle castle. It's like, I'm like, are these businesses or are these homes? Like people actually live here in Newport, Rhode Island.
Damn.
It's very affluent, very, 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 very. The cost of living in this town is 123% higher than the national average.
Damn.
So basically it's heirs and princesses and Hiltons and bougie ass bitches and stuff.
Like Saltburn.
So go there and get pregnant by somebody.
It's basically Saltburn. That's how I've related this case. It's Saltburn. Yeah. So stupid amounts of money. And it's like, why do you need this giant house for 2 people? I don't know. Why would you not? Just because. Because I can.
You got it, flaunt it.
Because I can.
But don't be murdering in there.
No, but that's what brings the fascination to this case is that they're not only like loaded, but they're like, it's a murder in this like affluent town, and they're like super rich and super like popular.
It's sad that poor people can't get that same kind of credibility.
No.
So like there's like you can't get the justice for the same murderers on the street.
And like this is a class of different people. Like they're not just like rich, they're like rich. Like we don't even know that level.
Like unrelatable
Like
rich.
they have like they have a nanny for each child. They have like they don't go to work. They have a driver for each thing. I don't know. But that's just what I saw in the movie.
I hate that.
Yeah. I mean,
how
but good
miserable.
for them. But actually, you know what? It turns out that it is pretty miserable because this bitch lays in bed all day and that's all she can do because that's all she does. But I'll get to that. So, Claus, he became like a tabloid magnate. His name was like synonymous with Dracula. Like he was just like everybody knew who he was because of all of the stuff that's about to come out. Like they just knew his name, and he was just like very charismatic, and you know,
before it all came out, or
yeah.
Okay,
they just knew who he was, and so he ends up marrying Sunny Van Bülow. So let me tell you a little bit about Sunny. She was born Martha Sharp Crawford, September 1st, 1932. She was the only child of a utilities magnate.
What does that mean?
Exactly. I had to Google it. So basically, she is the child of a gas and electric company like mogul. Basically, her dad owned
TXU
electricity. Like she's an
her
heir.
dad is TXU.
Her dad made all this shit ton of money, and she is just the heir of it. And so she's set for life. He's making tons of money. He runs basically the world. Her mom, her mom, Annie Laurie Warmack, was a socialite and an heiress. And she
like my mama.
Was an heiress from her father, who had founded the International Shoe Company.
Ooh.
So they made all the shoes. Yeezys. I don't know.
They got a monopoly on shoes?
Shoes and oil and gas and electricity.
Wow, power family.
Parents,
in the world.
Both of your parents are these like, I cannot.
Well,
imagine.
you know they're not going to let them like marry a teacher.
They can't marry for love. They have to marry for power.
Yeah. You know these are arranged marriages.
Oh.
It's like Bridgerton.
No.
I love
Well,
Bridgerton.
Nope. We're about to get there. So she's nicknamed Sunny because based on her personality. You know where I'm going with this.
She's bubbly.
She's bubbly.
She's
If
sweet.
anybody's bubbly, they did.
They're gone.
If you're bubbly, you always die.
Oh, man.
I know. So don't be bubbly.
Dude, I can't help it. I'm a cheerleader. Just because you retire the pom-poms doesn't mean you retire the lifestyle.
Oh no, I hate to break it to you, but you're really one step closer to
Solve my
murder.
crime.
I will solve it. So just at 3 years old, her father dies, and she inherits $100 million. And by the way, this is in 1935.
So it's worth.
So that's $2 billion.
Oh,
nowadays. Okay.
Oh, that poor thing.
Wait, what year is this?
1935 is whenever her dad died.
Is that the middle of the Great Depression?
Sunny Van Bülow's dad died in 1935.
Yes, she was 3.
Okay.
And and this case happens in 1980, like in the 80s.
Is that like the middle of the Great Depression or like a little bit before it?
Well, there was the war. The war comes up.
The war comes up like a little bit after, though.
The Depression was in
29-ish?
20. I think it was in the 20s.
We don't do history or geography on this
I
podcast.
do geography. I'm a geographist.
I want to say
I look at
that
maps.
35 was like in the middle of the Great Depression because I think we got into World War II in 42, but I couldn't
look it up
she
because
just got out of high school. She might be right.
No. Oh my God, y'all! I am 30, but I love you for saying that, April. You're so good.
She might be right.
She's literally in high school. I love it. So,
That was so nice.
Jeez, that's so nice. Get closer to your microphone.
That's so nice.
okay, so Sunny is raised by her mother and maternal grandmother on 5th Avenue in New York. She was driven to school in a Rolls Royce every day, and they...
Oh no.
And they
Get
summered.
electrocuted.
Oh no.
Did you have that sitting on that ledge?
Okay, so I was right. So 1935 was in the middle of the Great Depression. It was between 1929 and 1939, and it ended because we entered World War II.
Good job. What high school did you go to?
I was a history minor at Alabama.
Oh.
Where they have lots of murders.
Shout out Tuscaloosa.
Tuscaloosa. So so she's raised and she's growing up on 5th Avenue and she's driving to school in a Rolls Royce, and they summer in Greenwich, Connecticut at their family estate, Tamar Lane.
I don't even know what those words meant.
Where do y'all summer? Do you summer in
I
New
summer
York?
at TPNO Lake.
I just keep
Do you
doing the
summer in
same
the
thing.
Hamptons, or do
I
you
just keep
summer on-
working every summer.
You summer on Lake Shore, or
I
you
summer
in the
at Pure
Hamptons?
Bar. I summer.
No.
I don't
summer
summer.
at
You summer?
I don't summer. I'm gonna start though. So in New York City, she goes to this exclusive all-girls school. It's called Chapin School. It's on the Upper East Side. It's K through 12. It's educating the city's elite. I mean, she's a young, beautiful woman. She was like pretty shy, but then she was compared to Grace Kelly, and she was a really striking, gorgeous woman. And then she turns 18, and she's able to come out to society at a ball thrown at Tamar Lane. And now this is where we think Bridgerton.
Yes.
This is a Bridgerton situation.
Princess party.
Cotton Palace, if you're from Waco.
No,
or
it's called something.
quinceañera if you're Chicana.
It's called something different.
I know,
now.
because that's
it's a
racist
Brazos
now.
River party.
Wait, what was it before? A coming out party?
No, it was called Cotton Palace.
It's
but
like
apparently that's
Brazos
racist now.
Festival now or something.
Oh, before the one here in Waco? Will you?
Yeah,
The
I mean,
They
I
had
went,
to change the name.
Yes, they had to change it in
Yeah.
2020 whenever everybody
Everything
started
went crazy.
race.
Well,
I mean,
I think the name could have been changed a little earlier.
I don't know what
But
why they had to name it Cotton. I guess
I don't
'cause-
have the right pedigree to participate. My parents told me that real early.
Yeah,
They're like,
mine
I'm
did
sorry,
too.
our ancestors were poor.
Well, I had to participate in it as a guest. So
God, such an honor.
Mm.
What did your dress look like?
I did Rent the Runway and I had 3 dresses. It was great. So she goes to this Chapin University. She graduates. She takes her boards and she gets really good grades. A lot of people said that she was like not very intelligent, but then it's like, yeah,
Who
she
gives
is.
a shit?
Exactly.
Because
Exactly. So she was like, she went to college. She chose to go to college and she went and she graduated. And after that, she was like, no, she didn't go to college. She went to high school. She graduated. And then her mom was like, hey, do you want to just go to Europe and explore the continent?
Yeah, forget college.
Yeah.
I mean, but you got to understand, you don't need it.
No, you really don't.
You don't need it.
I've
and
used
can you
it for
imagine
nothing.
if you are, well, not you. We need it, right? They didn't need it. Well, it wasn't going to benefit her life, her pedigree, her
It's
money,
a waste of money.
at all. And then can you imagine if you're that rich and you like want to go to college, you're going to pay all 4 years up front. Can I just pay all 4 years up front?
Yeah.
No
like it's
joke.
nothing to them.
So basically, her mom wanted to take her to Europe to experience the continent. I mean, I sure didn't go on any high school trip, experience any continents. I went to the damn mall. I don't know where y'all went.
Schlitterbahn.
Richland. Straight to the Richland. Schlitterbahn.
It was nice. It was a good senior trip.
That's great. I went to Hawaiian Falls. So they go to a place called Schloss Mitrisol Resort in the Austrian Alps. This place is a 900-year-old castle where the elites go to relax. And they basically ski in the Australian Alps. They go shoot. Nice. They go shooting. They go hunting. Basically, they lay around in their money and just make snow angels and do all the rich people stuff. That whatever they do. But you know what? They're relaxing. I would be relaxed if I could do snow angels and money. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah. So whatever it takes for them to relax, it's great. So in World War III, as we like to call it, war, because we can't speak. War. Schmittler.
Why is that funny?
Because Schmittler.
Hitler?
Yes.
But why Schmittler?
Because we're just saying Schmittler or Himmler or whoever. So he actually made this. He took over the castle. This castle that they were just at. So he took over this castle. All the Yahtzees were everywhere. That's the other word. Then after the war.
What's Yahtzee mean?
Yahtzee is Nazi.
Oh.
I got a lot of code words. YouTube doesn't allow a lot of words.
I know. Get demonetized. We're not YouTube.
I know. So the Nazis or the Yahtzees. And so a lot of people who had been royalty in Europe had nothing left. They had their estates taken away. They had no money left. It was like basically the Sound of Music, like pull up your dribble, climb over the Alps, get your 8 brothers and sisters, and you gone. Wow. You know, that's basically what it was. So then finally the resort reopens, and there's all these young princes who have no money because they are broke, and they're like, well, they're still beautiful, and they're like, man, maybe we can get some Americans over here, and the Americans will marry us, and we can get their money because they got to be rich to come here.
Like $1 million princess.
Yes.
Like Gilded Age.
Yeah. Yes.
And what's that show? Downton Abbey.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, the main girl in Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey
American princess.
Yes. Downton Abbey was an example in the story in the article that I read. Yes.
Are y'all saying Downton Abbey?
It's called Downtown, not Downtown.
Oh, girl, it is so
which
good.
I actually have not watched.
Good.
So I need to watch it.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
you do. But Gilded Age is better. Gilded Age is the gateway drug to it.
Oh, wow. And where do you find that on?
I think I watched it. Is it a Prime or is it a Hobo Go? It might be a HBO Go or HBO Max.
I will look into it. So yeah, they have basically like these princes, or like they don't have any money. They're gonna go where the beautiful people are. So rich Americans come over there, and they're like, oh hey, you're a royal. Oh hey, you got money. Oh blah blah blah. And then broke royals are like, yeah, we got a chance to get back in this money.
Yeah.
And it's all about the money.
Like the Vanderbilts.
Yeah.
Like Consuela Vanderbilt, she married that guy in Europe that was like a prince or a doke or something. And then they just basically sold her away like she was cattle or something. It was horrible. It was a bad marriage. I think they got divorced.
Clearly. I'm not shocked. So it's all about the money. Sunny's first day at the resort, she meets this young instructor. Are you ready for this name? Yes. Prince Alfred Edward Frederick Vincent Martin Maria von Auersperg.
Why?
Blah.
Prince Alfred Edward Frederick Vincent Martin von Auersperg. Okay?
Ugh.
That's his name. He has 18 names for one name.
I feel bad
His
for him.
family lost all of their money when the Austrian Empire fell in World War II. Okay?
Which is why he's an instructor right now, and he's got to work.
So he's making it work at the resort, and then they fall madly in love. And, of course, it's against her mother's wishes that she marries him. Mama's like, no, he's bad news. He's 4 years younger than you. He's a prince. He's going to cheat on you. He's going to have a wandering eye. You're an American girl. You don't know how these things work.
We're talking about Sunny, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So Sunny meets this guy, from this Austrian guy, whatever. Mama's like, don't do it. Sonny's like, I'm going to prove you wrong. She does it anyway. So they get married, and so she ends up hiring this maid, this lady named Maria Schlosshammer. Maria attends Sonny's she's there for everything. Maria has a shart, she cleans it up. Maria stubs her toe, she fixes. Maria needs a pedicure. Bitch, Maria down there doing toes. Maria, she got a back issue. Maria
rubbing it.
So, wait, nobody does a job like Maria.
It's like sound of music.
I know. That's great. So Maria is like legit, right? So she's loyal to her for the next 30 years. Okay.
Wow.
So they go on. They have 2 children, Ella and Alex, and but her mother warned her, and old ain't name Alfred, whatever his name is. He did not give up his Playboy lifestyle, and he eventually cheats on her, and so Sonny is heartbroken.
Well, Sonny,
she's like, I wasted all this time. I should have just listened to my mom.
Oh, you mean she should have listened
Tale
to the warnings?
Tale as old as time.
So she's like, man, I miss New York, and I'm been living in Europe this whole time.
This place sucks.
She's like, I hate this place. And so she's like, we're getting divorced. So they get divorced in 1965, and Sonny is like, I'm out. She leaves Europe after she separates from old Alfie.
A lot of them did at that time.
Yes. And then she goes to a dinner party where she meets a very mysterious, suave Danish guy named
the next
Claus,
day.
Basically. Yeah, she got over it real quick.
She's on the rebound.
Yeah, she a hoe for show. So
DTF.
Klaus von Bülow. Von Bülow.
Can't even trust the name.
Is who she meets. And let me tell you a little bit about Klaus. He had royal blood. He was once from this well-to-do family. His grandfather was the Justice Minister of Denmark. Whatever that means. I feel like it's very important. He grew up there. He was sent to Swiss schools. He was not part of the rich crowd, but being around the rich crowd helped him learn. He used his intelligence and wit to learn how they acted, so he could act as if he was one of the rich.
Oh.
Catfish rich.
So so he's going to school to learn how to be
Dirty Klaus.
Rich. Klaus. So when the war starts, 1940, things start to get a little intense and a little wild, and the Nazis occupy Denmark, and he's smuggled out in the belly of a British mosquito bomber.
Wow.
Wait, what?
What a story.
That's a plane, right?
I read that.
Is that a little plane?
I don't know. I thought it was
It's gotta be a small plane if it's called a mosquito bomber.
It's
Do you
the
want
ones
to know
that they
how
do the
much I
flyovers.
Googled from this episode? I had to Google what's a mosquito bomber.
It's a little plane, I'm assuming, because mosquitoes are small.
Yeah, I just was like, did somebody eat him? And then he was like in their belly? No, it was the plane.
What is that when he was born? How did you go to 1940? I thought we were in 1965 when she got divorced.
No, 35, and she had a lot of shit that happened in between.
And then she got divorced in 65.
Yes, she got
So
divorced.
what happened
in bombers there?
Well,
So
no,
what
I-
happened in 1940?
I'm bringing you back to his life.
Okay, but I know.
she's
So what
married
happened
to
in
them.
1940?
That's when the war starts.
Okay, so he's in the war. Say that whole part over again. No, what did the mosquito bomber do?
Well,
What did he do in the mosquito bomber? He was
So
smuggled.
when the war starts in 1940, Yahtzees occupy Denmark. He is smuggled out in the belly of a British mosquito bomber, and he gets smuggled out, Yahtzee, and they go into England, and he goes to Trinity College in Cambridge, and he graduates with his law degree in 1946.
So he's a Jew.
We don't know.
I don't know.
Why do you need to be smuggled out?
I guess because he was
been
just
a gypsy.
He could have been. I don't. Is it all? I don't know. I don't know all that. I'm not like. We need to get a historian in here. I'm just reading facts and I'm spitting them out right now. Yeah. So I think that he was just like. He wasn't a Jewish person, but he was just living there at the time.
And so he just escaped to get out of the war.
They were
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
He didn't escape like a camp.
No.
He just got out of that shit.
He just left because it was a war zone.
Yes. So then he
then went to college.
Yes. So then he starts practicing law in London in the 50s. In 1959, he gets a job as an executive assistant to an oil baron named John Paul Getty. So this guy is like, they have an arrangement to where like he gives Getty legal and public advice. Like so they have like a trade-off.
Yeah.
But one of them is like basically one of them is like the whipping boy and like, hey, you do what I tell you to do or shut up.
Claus?
Yes. Klaus is the whipping boy. Yeah. He's basically like, okay, I'll give you this, but then you have to do this. And Klaus is the one that has to do the bad things or whatever. Which I don't know what that really, like, I don't know what y'all had to do,
That's
but.
probably why he killed her, though, because he was, like, had all that aggression from being bullied all those years by this other guy. So he's like, I'm going to treat my wife bad.
Yes, I think that's exactly right. So they have an arrangement where Klaus gives, him legal advice. And then in 1985, they said that Klaus helped Getty procure medicines and rejuvenation drugs.
Youth elixir.
So cocaine and maybe aloe vera. I don't know.
Rejuvenation drugs?
I don't know. I don't know what's a rejuvenation drug.
Like Sandra Bullock
on Ellen. When she said
that was some good stuff.
That was really good stuff. So Getty was like, at first he was like, yeah, Claus von Bülow, he's like the dude. He's like quick-minded. He's a hard worker. He's personable.
My drug dealer.
Yeah, he's my drug dealer. But like, bro, like also he's like kind of sly and cocky and arrogant on the side. And so a lot of people were like, oh, we can see like that he kind of has two sides to him. We don't really know if we can trust him. Like he's just kind of going back and forth. They don't really know.
Because he's a royal, but he's really a fake royal.
Yeah.
Because
he has no money, but he's just
okay.
And then he he just kind of marries into the money.
So
an
adventurer.
Yeah. And so then he ends up getting married to is he married yet? Did I say that? No, he ends up getting married to Sonny on June 6, 1966. They have a daughter, Cosima. So now Sonny has 3 kids because she has 2 from previous, 1 from this guy. This is when they moved to Newport, and they moved to this place called Clarendon Court. Clarendon Court.
Okay.
In Rhode Island. So they move there. 2 years later, Klaus leaves his job with the J.P. Getty. He's like living a life of luxury for the next 13 years. And at this point, wife Sonny, is basically spending every single day in her bedroom. So I don't know if that sounds more like depression or luxury.
She's missing the prince. That was her number 1 love.
You think if you live in your bedroom, are you depressed or are you in luxury?
Well, what if we don't know all the details? Was she like handcuffed to the radiator?
Facts.
Yeah,
that is
he was
good.
Like,
I think that's depression.
Money.
Well, and you're fucking bored. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, you don't have a job. You don't have any responsibilities. You don't got to wash the dishes.
To all the fancy
you don't got to do your laundry. You don't got to go grocery store. You don't have to research your podcast. Like, what? You don't got to work out. What are you going to do?
Miserable.
Needle point.
Like, give money to the poor, like us who need to pay bills.
But that'll take 5 minutes, so she's just in the bed.
Oh, poor baby.
I think it is boredom, which is in depression, and your life has no meaning.
Her because he had access to the drugs. He was giving it to that other guy. Maybe he was slipping some into her tea, and so she would stay sedated.
I wanna be sedated. But there are people who said that she really did suffer from depression, And in the 60s, you know, you don't talk about that shit. Like,
No.
you don't talk about mental health. You don't talk about therapy.
Oh, no.
You don't talk about any of that stuff because, oh, gosh, scarlet letter. You're wearing the big A, so you got to just take pills and move on. Okay? So that's kind of what she did. But the weird thing is that people she partied with, they said that she had a really bad reaction to alcohol. So it's like, did she just drink? Did she have like a drink or two and mix it with pills? Or did she have an allergy? Because she would have literally 1 or 2 drinks and would be like obnoxious.
Maybe she was always on pills.
Well, I don't know. So it's like she had this weird reaction to it. And so she would be like slurring. She would lose her balance. She would knock things over, fall down. And so I don't know if that's more of,
At that time, it wasn't as regulated, and she was probably just always on pills. So every time she drank, she was always already medicated, you know? Like Marilyn.
Yeah.
Oh, like Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if she was depressed or had some type of chemical imbalance, like bipolar, then
alcohol's going to
sometimes
mess her
alcohol
up.
is going to affect her differently than somebody who does not have a chemical imbalance.
Facts.
So 3 beers, maybe like 9 beers.
And then we don't know what her diet's like or what her health is like. So, like, if she was always drinking on an empty stomach because she starved herself all the time, like, that's going to be a thing.
Yeah. But the good news is that a friend of hers did try to do an intervention.
Oh, good for her.
And she politely rejected it.
Tried to get her to not drink, or
she was like, "Oh, hey,
get out of bed.
Maybe we should go to AA together." And she politely rejected, meaning she was like, "Fuck you, I'm rich."
You're no longer invited to my tea party.
I'm rich. I am not
bitch.
alcoholic. I am not a drunk. I'm rich. I can do whatever the fuck I want to have.
Yeah.
No
Out of the
responsibilities. Yeah, that's exactly what her reaction was. I'm not even joking. It was like, she's not slacking on any obligations. She doesn't have a job. She doesn't have, I mean, she does have kids, but I guess they're grown. But her obligation is actually socializing, and she's slacking on that. So she is actually slacking on her job because she's in her bed all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like, well, maybe these, because when you're that rich, you can buy drugs at any time, at any price, anywhere. It doesn't matter. So she could be on drugs, or we don't know. But after the daughter was born, their daughter Cosima, Sonny and Klaus's daughter, together, Sonny lost interest in the sex life.
Sonny the woman?
Yeah, Mama Sonny. Sonny,
and how old is she now? Because she's 1935. It's about that age.
Oh my gosh, she's 36 when she was like, "Fuck you, I'm rich." Well, sucks for you. Rumors pop off. Rumors are like drug use and all this stuff. And yeah, like I said, you can have anything at any time.
Well, and then think about Bridgerton. They pass around cocaine like it's nothing. Like, remember Queen Elizabeth just had it on a tray right here, and she just randomly
she just like, let me just snort it up. Actually, we could probably put a line on right now and we'll snort it. But yeah, I mean, like,
we're not rich.
We're not rich. So yeah, like after, so Cosima is, well, you know, there's no more sex life for them. She's lost her interest, and Sonny gave Klaus permission to seek sex outside of their marriage. I mean, what a good guy. What a good wife. What a good wifey.
Yeah, she's got
what a good wife. She's
to,
like,
you know,
I'm literally.
dip her quill and some new ink
I
as
think
well.
she's in love with Prince still. I don't think she liked some.
She a lesbian on the side.
Or she's got a tennis instructor, whatever they had at that time.
The prince that cheated on her was
got
a true
somebody
love.
going down on her.
He
in
broke
the
her
side.
heart, and she never got over it. And she was just with Vaughn
Klaus
because
was a
that's what you're
fill-in.
supposed to do. Is be married, or you are going to be out, right?
She loves
You're going to
the
be an
cad
old maiden,
prince.
and you can't be an old maiden. So I think she just married out of obligation.
You're so good at this.
She's FBI.
You're really good at this, April. She's FBI. But it makes so much sense when you say it like that. Of course.
She's FBI. So Klaus had gone back to work. He went to go work at this place called Artemis International Art Advisors. Lots of travel. He's away a lot. And then Sonny's like, "Oh, your job is the reason that our marriage is falling apart," and blah blah blah. And Klaus is like, "Well, I don't want to be seen as a kept man," and because he got
as a
kept man,
like a lady has control,
like he's kept basically. So,
but she owns him financially.
He was given. Oh, just wait. He was given $10,000 a month in allowance.
She was giving him.
She was giving him
just to leave her alone.
$10,000 a month. 10 and 19 whatever the. 10,
what does that be now?
Probably like 100,000. If somebody's gonna tell me,
oh my God,
I'll give you $100,000 a month.
Just in your bedroom. I would have
murdered him. I will literally never leave my bedroom. I mean, I probably will, but I'll go to the backyard.
I would have murdered him before I gave him that much money.
Well, she's just saying, stay married to me, but don't bug me.
Yes!
$10,000 a month.
Bruh.
Don't bug me.
Such a
I'm
boss.
not trying to.
She is a boss.
I'm not trying to do you.
Yeah, go fuck whoever you want.
Leave me alone,
like it's fine.
Peasant.
Yeah.
So he starts having an affair with this lady named Alexander Isles, former soap opera star.
Oh.
Ew.
And she had actually just come from as much money as Sonny had come from.
Oh.
So
they're equals.
He's got a type.
Ruh-roh-y.
Oh, Sonny.
Sonny
not,
wifey.
Oh.
Wifey. Yeah. So mistress came from as much money as wifey came from. So
I
it's
mean,
like,
that's smart. You're not going to screw the
But
help.
he's dumb because this is what he did. He was going and he was whining and dining this chick, and they ended up having this full-fledged affair, and he did not have enough money to afford himself and herself that lifestyle that he had grown accustomed to. And so
from his wife,
because he only started
he had $10,000 a month.
He only could afford it. Because he grew accustomed to I think he was making
like $1 million, honestly.
He's making $120,000 a year, which was not going to cover at all what they were doing.
No.
Not
at that time?
Yeah.
I mean,
isn't that wild?
What were they doing?
A lot of coke, I guess. I don't know.
That much money at that time would be so much money now.
I agree. But I think they're just going on
that's
these,
not going to pay for
lavish.
servants and traveling and cocaine.
Cocaine. So his mistress demands, like, you leave your wife or you no get me. And he said, I can't leave her because she's so unstable. And so girlfriend is like, deuces, bounces out, and she gone.
Okay.
Nice.
That's how I put it anyways.
Take
So
your power back.
in 1979, Klaus and Sonny's marriage is failing, obviously. It's been failing for a while. People know it. They're talking about it. And they're like, okay, we're about to get a divorce. And everybody knows about it. So that Christmas, family gets together and they're going to their house at Clarendon Court the day after Christmas. Sonny and her son, Alex, go to the library to drink. Because they drink eggnog together, and that's...
Wait, Sonny and who?
Her son. She has two...
Her first son and the first marriage. Okay.
So Alex and Ella are the two children from her first marriage.
Hey, let's go have drinks in the library.
But apparently it's a tradition, and it's like they just have spiked eggnog together. It's family tradition. But
cool.
remember, she has this like alcohol issue, right? So she's drinking spiked eggnog. What's gonna happen?
That's a non-issue,
and she's got mental health problems.
I'm sorry, but she becomes incoherent and disoriented
because of all of her medication.
And Alex ends up putting her in bed. And the next morning, the family wakes up, and Alex leaves the house. He goes. I guess he lives there. Son Alex. He goes to play tennis. He gets back. Mom is still sleeping. Pretty typical, normal situation. She stays in bed a lot. That's what happens when you're druggy. or you're on pills and you're comatose and all the stuff.
Or when you don't have shit else to do.
Or you don't have shit else to do because
joke.
somebody else is making the money for you. Oh, I'm ex-husband's. That would be my ex-mother-in-law, by the way. So whenever he comes home later in the day, maid Maria Schloppenberger or whatever, Maria, she finds, like, Alex comes home, son Alex comes home, and Maria's crying. Like, she's, like, bawling her eyes out. And he's like, what's going on? And she was like, I don't know. I don't think Sonny's doing very well. Claus is refusing to call a doctor, and she says that she's sleeping off a night of drinking and to leave her alone. But, like, so basically she's, like, looking really bad. Claus is saying, don't worry about it. She's fine. She's just been drinking. It's not a big deal. Maria doesn't think so. Maria's like, I know her. I know she doesn't look right. It's not, something's going on. And then Claus is like, oh, I know that she hates doctors. She will never want to go to a doctor. And then later on, we find out that they, like, had been arguing a lot about their marriage. And he said that Sonny was, like, very depressed. And ever since they had raised this daughter, and the daughter was leaving to go to Austria to get married, and she wasn't going to, it's this whole thing. So basically, she's very depressed, and they are just trying to figure out what to do with her. Because, like, Maria and the kids want to call the doctors and send her off and get her help. But Claus is like, no, she's fine. It's not a big deal.
Shame on
get
the family.
over it.
Yeah.
Yes. So he's like, get over it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And they're like, well, who's the one who makes the decision?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So the next day, Maria is heard. I laughed when I read that, when I listened to this. Maria is heard moaning. Maria heard moaning from the bedroom.
Okay.
It was not the good type of moaning.
Sonny's bedroom.
It's not the good moaning. It was the worrisome moaning. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm dying.
Pain.
Like, I'm dying moaning. So she's an old school servant. Okay, that's what they said. And so it's not her place to go and
just barge in.
Yes. It's not her place to go in there and be like, oh, this, and this. And so she's not going to assert herself, and she's just going to, like, kind of hang back. She's very worried. She ends up going into the room. She sees that Claus is just, like, sitting on the couch.
Watching her die.
Watching Sonny, and Sonny's unconscious.
Oh.
In obvious pain because she's making sounds.
Yeah, she's like moaning, and he's just sitting over there reading a book.
He's poisoning
He's reading
her.
a book. She's FBI too. I'm fired. Yep. No.
This whole time.
Mm-hmm. And turns out she is unconscious this whole time. So Maria's like, Claus, you need to call a doctor. This is no sore throat. No. You need to call the doctor. Don't leave her alone.
It's like, nah, she's fine.
Exactly. And so she spends they spend the next several hours checking on her, and there's no improvements. She's still unconscious. I guess they just leave her unconscious. They think she's sleeping? I don't know. I wasn't there. No improvements. So when her son comes home, he goes in, he looks at her, checks on her, shakes her, calls her name. She's not waking up. He looks at Claus, and he's like, call a fucking doctor.
Yeah.
Like, do something. Doctor shows up in 15 minutes. So, yeah, it doesn't take long. Doctor arrives. He's like, and right as he arrives, like, Sonny vomits, and then she starts to aspirate, so they have to give her CPR. She starts to breathe on her own again, and that clears up, but she is still not waking up. And she's taken to the hospital.
Like arsenic.
Sounds like Michael Jackson's
What do we think the poisoning
case.
was? Arsenic.
Is it going to come up? Is something going to come up? They don't have toxicology back then.
Yeah, but there's signs.
Sonny gets to the hospital, and she's in a coma. The doctors are eventually able to bring her out of the coma after extensive testing. She's diagnosed as being hypoglycemic.
Sugar.
What can that look like if you're poisoned?
Too much of it?
What looks like hypoglycemic if you're being poisoned, though?
I have no idea.
Because poisons can take forms of illnesses.
Yeah. I don't know much.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm like.
I know. I don't know. But I know. So she tells the doctors that she was not taking drugs. She does not have a drinking problem. And she admits to having a fondness of sweets.
She's lying because we all know she's got a drinking problem. It's been said several times in this article.
Hypo. Is it hypo or hyperglycemic? What'd you say?
Hypo. Hypoglycemic. But then she says...
that means she doesn't eat enough?
That means your sugar is... but is it higher or lower? Low blood sugar.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically the doctors are like,
so it's not
you're eating too many sweets.
Okay.
But really we all think...
No, it's low blood sugar.
But the sweets can spike it and make it low, like, because the sweets don't stay, like, something about sugar.
Yeah,
is, like,
it's very confusing.
You need the special kind of sugars that are better for you to stick with you in that.
Well, and then the doctors end up, like, telling her that, like, they're like, don't eat too many sweets because...
it'll spike your blood sugar.
Yes, and then they're like, also, you need to eat more often because she wasn't eating enough.
Yeah.
And so it was messing with her blood sugar.
She was depressed because she's still in love with her first husband. She had to marry that loser next.
Yes, exactly. And then
I think I'm with April's plan here.
Yeah,
on the
y'all
whole.
are both FBI. I love it. Yeah, so they're like, don't eat too many sweets. Don't go too long without eating because that was another piece of it. So this whole ordeal, Maria is like super suspicious about Claus and the way that this all went
with
down.
The husband. I don't trust the maid.
Oh, maid to sleep with the husband
because she's like, oh no, Mrs. Sunny is so fine, and then like she's fine, but because she knows that the husband's poisoning her, and she's Maria's the only one that saw him in the room with her.
There's more. Maria then goes and she's cleaning the house because that's what Maria does.
She's cleaning up after her lover.
Oh, she finds Klaus's small black toiletry bag that he takes on trips when he goes to New York, and so she's
on the side of the victim.
No, Maria's DTF. She's down to fine.
She
is all the way on the side of Sunny.
I don't know who I trust right now.
I know. Okay, keep listening. Okay, this is good. This is good. We have opposing theories. Yes, this is good. This is why we like this. So Claus she goes and she finds the black bag. Okay, so
Maria's a woman at this time. And it's not good to be a woman at this time.
Fuck around and find out, bro, because I'm about to find out if you keep fucking around.
What's in the bag?
What's in the bag? So she finds this small bag, black bag, and it has a prescription bottle of Valium.
Uh-oh. I would said laudanum.
Of Valium with the name Leslie Baxter on it. And she finds a vial of powder and a vial of liquid.
Ooh,
she immediately calls Ella, the daughter of Sunny. Ella.
First child daughter, second child daughter. First.
And she takes the bag. So she goes to Ella. Ella takes the bag to New York City, or whatever.
To New York City.
Ella lives in New York City. That's where Maria takes the bag, and then Ella ends up taking the bag to the family doctor to take the samples of whatever was in the bag.
Okay.
And the results come back, and they find that the liquid Valium and the powder was a powerful barbiturate called secobarbital.
No,
what's that called on the market now?
Okay, look at
Bustle relaxer.
Do you know what that is?
No.
SECOBARBITAL.
Looks like you punched the keyboard.
Okay, April's looking it up. So this doctor that tested these things had prescribed both of these things to Sunny in the past, but
it's prescribed for insomnia and makes you sleep.
Oh, so it's a sleeping pill?
So they were drugging Sunny.
It's a controlled substance.
What's the generic name? Do you know?
Like an Ambien kind of thing?
But the versions that they were basically like, so the doctor tested tested her for all the drugs, and what was in her system was what would not be prescribed by a doctor
to one
so
person.
It was like, typically you get prescribed pills from a doctor. You don't typically get prescribed a powder
and an unmarked vial,
or liquid as your pain medication. So obviously,
you made her a little concoction of
my doctor's not going to give me Coke. My doctor's not going to give me a liquid Vicodin or whatever. I don't know. But you can get that off the streets. So that's what they were saying. They're like,
he made her a leave me alone cocktail.
Yes. So she had these cocktails. I got issues. What was that?
It was the top.
Okay. And so, yeah, the pharmacy was like, no, we're not selling this stuff. So typically we'd give you a tablet. So Maria, Ella, Alex, so all the maid and the kids, they all decide that they are going to just like keep all this information to themselves. They're not gonna say anything because they're afraid that they're afraid to warn Sunny because they want to scare or freak her out. So they also don't want Klaus to find out that they did this.
Because men had more power than they were.
They were just too scared. So 4 months. Just think about it. Like if you think about that nanny, she's been working for this family for 30 years.
That's her livelihood.
Oh yeah.
So it's like you're in a shit position. Like that sucks.
She
was
she's kicking ass.
She just doesn't know.
But like
really
the daughter, you just found out your stepdaddy is poisoning your mama,
and you're gonna let it happen.
And you're gonna,
and they didn't
go to bed. You're just gonna lay down.
You're just gonna let her.
This
die.
is why money is so incredibly powerful that it sucks because
but he didn't have it. She had it.
Yes,
that's true. That is actually true. But
was there something going on between the daughter and the stepdad?
Well, I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't fucking know.
She's
but maybe at this point,
she's all over the place.
I'm sorry.
We're just the same.
I'm sorry.
Oh no.
No, I'm talking about like your brain will go in every scenario, which is good.
No one can be trusted these days.
I know.
I'm the same. So she's brought to the hospital. When she gets there, the doctor's like, "Oh, we can't do anything. You can't do anything more. You have to go on a strict diet. You got to limit your sugar intake, and you can't drink alcohol at all.
It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault."
Yep. So by all accounts,
she's just unhappy.
Yeah, she's just like, okay, so whatever. And so then her daughter Ella is like, she's about to get married, and all of this like wedding stuff comes around, and she gets super stressed out. And around Thanksgiving, I guess, of that year,
so it's a whole year later because
this
was
like
after Christmas.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yes. So then
they let a whole year go by.
They let a whole year go by. Maria is now cleaning out Klaus's closet again, I guess, and then she sees this black bag again. And she looks inside of it, and this time she sees a bottle of insulin and 3 syringes. 2 of the syringes, which are in their packaging, but one looks like it's been used.
But she needs that, though, for her diabetes, right?
She's never gotten diagnosed yet. They just said, quit drinking alcohol. Eat right.
What's in that third syringe?
What's happening is like what happens to our pancreas when we do something like that. It rises and it falls and rises and it falls. So she probably was like, you're about to be pre-diabetic in these terms, but she was never diagnosed. But whoever Von Clausen, he knows his shit because he knows what's about to come.
Well, and the
so
doctors were bad at that time. They had just stopped leeching, right? Like, pretty much. Wait, what year are we at now? 60s or no?
Yeah.
We better be
1980. We're in 1980.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the doctors are a lot better by this point.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So, yep. So she shows the new contents of the new bag to Alex, one of the sons, and once again, they decide not to say anything because they are just real bad people. So then there's another incident where Sunny is rushed to where she's found incoherent and she's bleeding from the head. And she's rushed to the hospital. Doctors discover that she has taken over 60 aspirin. Okay.
What?
It was a toxic amount that could have killed her, which it did not.
You had an aspirin injector in the third one, maybe?
So, in a letter, Maria writes to a friend, and she says that Klaus and Sunny are at daggers points with each other, and basically the marriage is really falling apart, and Sunny is really depressed and having a really hard time, and she usually spends Christmas at Clarendon Court all together, including the grandmother, but Sunny's grandmother was not going to be there because she was ill, so they decided that they're going to go celebrate Christmas in New York City, but right before Christmas, they're going to go back to Newport for a quick time, and they're going to come back and have come back into the city for Christmas. So Klaus tells Maria, you don't need to go to Newport with them because it's going to be such a quick trip. You don't need to go there. No.
Tells Maria don't go.
Yeah, don't go. And Maria's like, that's a little sus.
Maria, you be investigating
Maria
too
is
much.
DTF, and she's like, this is suspicious. So she goes and she's like, I'm going to go check that black bag again. She gone. She going straight to check that black
Maria,
bag.
take care of yourself.
And she does. And she sees the contents of the bag has changed.
Again?
One more again.
Stronger
Now
poison.
Ooh, this insulin and the syringes are still there.
But now there's...
And that's all we know. There's just insulin in the syringes. What was there first?
There was
Insulin
a
and
powder.
syringes.
There's
Small
no
vial of
powder,
powder,
and there's no liquid. There's just the insulin and the
They
syringes.
mixed it together and put it in that third syringe.
So
well,
it's-
that was the second time, too.
Well, it's changed, April.
No,
It's
the first time had
changed.
a powder. The second time was 3 syringes. The third time we're not real sure of.
I'm just reading facts.
Right?
Y'all both forgot the damn facts.
Did I? Did I forget it?
Yes, because she said insulin the second time because you were like, well, she needs it for her diabetes.
I think there was the amount
Yes.
of syringes and the amount or whatever was in.
But
so
there
like
was
there
one
a
syringe
powder
was
one.
used already.
Yeah.
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 And there's a
So,
powder in the first
That was in
sack.
the first one, yeah.
Basically, all we need to know is that now it's December 21st, and they're all together, and they go have a dinner. And Sunny was like, oh, I want a caramel sundae. And they're like, but you can't have this because you're not supposed to be having sweets. And so the whole family leaves the house. They go watch a movie. They go watch just whatever. And blah, 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 blah. So they get back from the movie. And Klaus is like, oh, I got to go make some phone calls. The rest of the family is like, oh, we're going to go hang out in the library. I guess this library is inside their house.
Sounds like Saltburn.
Dude, this is...
They're partying in the library.
I think this might be so. Maybe that's why I
think
wonder.
And then that other story you did with the family annihilator, and she was killed in the library and the crystal ceiling.
Oh, yes.
Libraries.
Yes. But Sunny first, she's like, before I go to the library, I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Oh, sniff a line.
Should I go TT? So when she comes back, she's holding a glass against, she's holding a glass, and Alex, her son, assumes it's ginger ale, whatever. No, but Sunny just like all of a sudden she becomes faint and she's getting disoriented and whatever. And Alex is like, "Are you taking those what's a barbiturate?"
It's what she was taking.
Okay, so he's
The
like, "Are you
sedative.
taking barbiturates again?"
It's not like Xanax.
He
It's
has
a
to
controlled substance.
he has to pick her up, carry her to bed. Then he goes and he gets Klaus, and he's like, when he gets back to the bedroom, he's like, Klaus, go check on your wife because she's like real messed up. Klaus goes and he finds Sunny crawling back from the bathroom into the bed. So she's like trying to crawl her way out of the bathroom to go to the bed. So she's real messed up. So guess what?
Baby, Sunny's living her best life. I feel like Sonny is
Party
living
on.
her best life.
So
I
Alex
sure
is
hate
like,
it.
deuces,
For
bro.
now.
This is your problem. I'm out. He leaves Klaus
Where's
to take care of it.
Maria?
And he's like, I'm going to go meet my friends at the bar.
Where's the ladies' maid to help
Well,
her?
Maria, she's probably like out in the
She's
car.
probably tired. But she's
Maria's
probably
been
like,
through it.
I'm about to go work for the Murdaws because
Y'all are crazy.
this is
So
too much.
the next morning, Klaus goes into the room and finds, I guess they don't sleep in the same room, finds Sunny unresponsive on the bathroom floor next to the toilet. She has her nightgown bunched up to her waist, and she has a cut on her lip. Her body is cold. She's lying in a puddle of her own urine, and she's then rushed to the hospital. But at the time, doctors could not revive her, and she's transferred to a hospital in Boston.
I see why he got off.
Okay.
How?
So I'll finish. So the
That,
doctors,
everything
they say that she suffered a serious brain injury, and she is now what they call a persistent vegetative state, and is now put on life support. So she's basically slipped into a permanent coma. And when daughter Ella goes to the hospital, she talks to the neurologist, who tells her that he believes that this coma could have been caused by insulin being injected into her mother's system. So is it Klaus that's injecting insulin into her system?
Well, but who
said
kept
that?
founding it?
Daughter said that?
Ella, yes, daughter.
But the only person that commented on seeing the insulin over and over was her maid, Maria.
So now, given that Klaus's behavior around the first coma, was a little suspicious, and then now the family knowing, the contents of the black bag, they're, putting all these pieces together, and they're like, well, shit,
Yeah.
what happened? So then Sonny's two oldest kids, Alex and Ella,
They're like,
and the maid, and Maria, all three of them are like,
they've all seen the bag.
we are real suspicious. Yes, they
Dude,
have.
Yeah,
and they're
he killed her.
This is
Too fucking late. They better not shed a tear.
But how did he know how to do
They
that?
better not shed a tear.
Okay, do you want to tell us your theory now or after?
Go, please. I'm dying.
Okay, tell us your theory.
Well, I don't know yet, but
Okay,
they better not shed a tear because you've known for 2 years or at minimum a year and a half. You need to give that much. So everybody's guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Bitch is guilty for living her best life. Drugs, alcohol, your body's was going to give out on you.
And then
even if they're trying to kill you,
but why
you help them.
Why?
You help them.
And then, why are the kids scared? Because their mom is the one with the money, not...
But
What's
he's
his
got
face?
control.
They was going to get it so as soon as she dies, they'll get it right then and there versus in 15, 20 years when she does die or sniffs it all up.
Yeah, but why would they be on his... Why would they be against him for that?
Because when you're married, it's going to go to him.
Yes, they want to
Yeah.
make him
It's
look
gonna go to
guilty so they
husband.
can split
But
the
not...
money.
you can't specify that in your will?
It's going to go to your husband. I mean, your kids may get some,
I didn't know
but the bulk
frame
of it's going to
him.
go to your husband.
You frame him,
Yeah.
you get it all. Oh, my God.
So, the kids, both Alex and Ella and Maria, are all super suspicious about the situation. And the suspicions are confirmed whenever Klaus begins trying to persuade the children over the next few months to have their mother taken off life support. But listen, if I'm on fucking life support, I need somebody to pull that plug out. I am not trying to live my worst life as a vegetable.
Plug me in. Keep me plugged in. Somebody could be trying to kill me.
Oh, she wants to stay plugged in.
I
wanna
want
be
to
unplugged.
live.
I don't want to live as a zombie, laying.
But what
just
if
laying
you're
there.
only like that because you're being poisoned by your horrible spouse?
True. I would just rather be taken off. But that's why we're different people.
Like if there's try to save me first and then take me off.
Yeah, I think they did because she was. Well, I'll tell you how long she was on it in
How
a little
long?
bit.
Okay.
Just wait. It's real bad.
4 days.
Oh, God. So he
30
claims.
minutes.
Okay, so she's in this vegetative state, whatever. He claims that it's the only humane thing to do. Alex and Ella, he's like, this is Klaus. Absolutely not. We're not. They're like, we're not taking our mom off of it. Klaus wants to her to
This
be
was
taken
her
off.
everyday. She lived in a vegetative state.
She's
anyways.
already like that.
Yeah.
That's her everyday life.
So then this one dude who's writing this article, his name is Mark Curbin. He wrote this one of the sources for this episode. And he writes, quote, 2 or 3 times a day, Claus would call Ella or Alex, urging them to consider his request. He was relentless. He tried an emotional attack, saying falsely that Sonny's organs would begin to break down and have to be removed one at a time. He then
I wanted to sell those too.
Yeah, he then appealed to their checkbooks pertaining to a memorandum outlining how much it would cost to keep Sonny alive indefinitely.
When they could just pocket that.
Yeah. Her care would require them to modify their lifestyles drastically and would bankrupt the family. So finally, when Sonny was removed from Boston to New York, where her own physicians could treat her, Claus argued that the hospital Christian doctrine would require staff to prolong her life at any cost, regardless of anyone's wishes. So now they're convinced that Claus has something to do with the mother being in the coma, and they contact the former New York DA to investigate possibly that this was not a medical condition caused by a coma, but that Claus attempted to murder his wife.
Facts.
So they gather all the evidence, and as much as they can, they interview staff, they interview family, they interview friends. Now they go search the closet for the black bag to see what else is in that, if there's anything else in the black bag.
It's gone.
Oh, but guess what? They can't get into the black bag because the closet's locked and blah, blah, blah. And then they have to find the key and this whole thing.
Break it down.
So they end up finally, basically, like one of the dirty syringes, it looks like it has remnants of insulin, and then a doctor conducts test results, and the attorney, I mean, there's all this stuff that happens, and basically the attorney tries to talk to his contacts at New York Police Department, like at the DA's office, and he's like, okay, we're looking into prosecuting this. But they're like, well, we don't have jurisdiction on this case. So then they have to go to Rhode Island Police. And then there's this Sergeant, John Reese, who they put in charge of the case. And they reinstate all the contents of the black bag and blah, 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 blah.
So they did find it to insert it. Okay.
He then goes to Manhattan to interview Claus. Claus invites him to his apartment, and they talk for about an hour. Claus and he's like, oh, our family's been fractured ever since Sonny slipped into her second coma. She just slipped into it. She just slipped right into that second coma. and then he tells the children, like, to blame, like, they're the ones to blame for the mother and how she's in the state, blah, blah, blah. And its whole thing is basically like, he's like, everything's just a vendetta against me. It's, I mean, I can't believe they're doing this to me. Like, he's the victim, you know, all this stuff.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, the children are in grief, and it's because of that all these, like, we can't be united, and blah, 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 blah. Several weeks later, Sergeant Reese finally goes to Clarendon Court with a search warrant, re-interviews Claus. Claus is friendly and open, signs a search warrant, and he's welcoming, blah, blah, blah. And he is searching the house, and then he realizes that Claus suddenly is like, or I think Claus actually realizes that he is becoming a suspect at some point because police are eventually talking to him and asking him questions. And so he's like, oh, maybe am I a suspect? Oh, I could be. And he's getting kind of shocked, and he's kind of upset by this, that he would actually be questioned for being a part of this murder or this death. Or actually, it's not a death yet. It's just like an event.
In the
Because she's
80s,
still alive.
he was shocked?
Oh, because she's still in the
She's
freaking
still alive.
coma.
She's still in the coma. She's still in the coma.
They're just trying to unplug her.
So he wonders, he's like, well, should I call a lawyer? And then Reese is like, the sergeant is like, well, yeah, you can. You don't have to talk to us. I mean, you can call a lawyer. Absolutely. Well, he ends up talking to him for 2 hours. But then Claus leaves. He's like, oh, I got to go get a cigarette, whatever. And another officer comes back. So basically they're in the house. They go and they search and they find the black bag again. And the officers take the black bag and they try to find out what was in it. Okay.
And it's probably all dumped down the toilet.
Basically, there's nothing left. So July 6, 1981, the Rhode Island jury indicts Claus Van Bülow on attempted murder charges. Claus goes to Newport Courthouse. He's arraigned on July 13th, and it becomes a full-blown media circus.
Of course.
Of course. He goes and he immediately posts $100,000 bail because he rich, and that's how rich people do it, because rich people just be doing things that they be doing. So trial takes place, and once testimony is over, it takes the jury 4 days to come up with a verdict. What do you think? What do y'all think it is?
Well, it's guilty first.
Oh, yeah.
I hope it's guilty,
Actually,
but I don't have any faith in the justice system at that time.
Facts. Either do I now.
Or now.
Yeah. So March 16th, they find Claus Van Bülow guilty of 2 counts of attempted murder. He's sentenced to 10 years for the first count.
What?
Because Sonny recovered from that, and he is sentenced 20 years on the second count. He files for appeal. He's going to then use the money to hire the best appellate lawyer. Who?
Her money?
Yo, probably.
Ugh.
But then he's like, fuck you, bitch. I'm about to go use all this money, and I'm going to hire the best appellate attorney in the country, Alan Dershowitz.
Her children are letting that happen.
Dershowitz.
That guy.
That's where he comes in. Yes. So this is when Alan Dershowitz comes in. He gets hired, and he is the appellate czar, basically. Everyone knows about this case. It's all in the tabloids, and it's all in the papers. Most people are like, yeah, he's guilty. Like, we don't even care. Like, because, the way the media is presenting him or how he's coming off in the public opinion. But Dershowitz is like, okay, let me go have lunch with this dude and let me just kind of fill him out. Let me peep him out. So he's like, well, the only way that I'll take on this case is if I can prove that the judicial process was incorrect.
Okay.
And he says, basically, I want your money so that I can keep it, so I can keep doing pro bono work for the innocent people, for the Innocent Project. Okay, so this is back in the day when people were good. So it's worth, yeah. So it was worth it to Alan, to Dershowitz, to take on this case either way, because he'll still get money, and he'll keep doing the work for the people who he actually wants to work for, who are wrongfully convicted. So Dershowitz, who is a Harvard law professor, he's able to get, oh my gosh, he's able to get all these law students to help him with this trial. It's basically like
Legally Blonde,
like murder, what's that show with the black lady with the
How to Get Away with Murder.
That's what this shit of was, How to Get Away with Murder, because he's like, hey, I'm going to use all my students to help us solve the case, and that's exactly what he does, and it's literally my favorite murder. Yes. So they come up with this like 101-page appeal they put together, and they're like, every single piece of evidence. He's like, we got to get every single piece of evidence. Law students, he's assigning these students to every little different thing.
This is your final.
Yes. He's like, oh, yeah, you do this, you do this, you do this.
Oh, that's the best.
Yes. The evidence, like every single little piece, every single little part, he's all like, it's a pretty legit
and that's probably how he won.
Yeah, very strategically.
He won?
Breaking everything down. He had tons of these students working day and night, not just him. And this case had so much attention already, and it would be surprising if he was actually found guilty after
Justice
this.
for Sonny.
People come forward. And then, okay, so wait, where are we now? Did I say that he got he got guilty?
And then now it's the appeal. But where the fuck is Sonny still alive?
Sonny's still alive.
Still
She's
on
still alive.
in a coma.
Yeah, she's still in a coma. So
did he do the appeal the next day after he got sentenced?
So I think you appeal it and then you get approved if you pass. Let's just whatever for terms. I don't know. If you pass your appeal, then you get the second trial.
Right.
So they're working right now on passing their appeal. So that's where it's like people come forward, and there's people who are coming like Truman Capote.
Oh, gangster
Capote. He wrote the book. He like Truman Capote with the book.
I don't know.
Isn't he a gangster?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure I didn't sound
No, it's like a big name. So it's like Truman Capote comes forward, signs an affidavit saying like Sonny would never do this, or no, saying that Claus would never do this. And then he was like, "Oh, I've seen Sonny like shoot up drugs and blah blah blah." And then you have people like who else was the other one? Johnny Carson's wife. Like it was like all these like and then you have a bunch of like non-famous people who are just coming and they're just giving their accounts and basically like saying Claus is this and he's but he's not a murderer, you know. And so a different picture is now being painted about Sonny and Claus, and a lot of testimony, a lot of this, a lot of residue on the needle, and
what is the residue on the needle?
Well,
was it insulin?
Yeah, there was a bunch of like info back. Like it was probably I could have gone more into it, like 2 more hours.
No,
yeah, but there was things there and that happened, and if you want to know more, go watch the movie and read the book.
No, but there was insulin on the needle.
Yeah,
they're saying.
That's what they were trying to figure out.
Oh, okay.
And then on July 5th, 1985, Claus Van Bülow was found not guilty of attempted murder of his wife. So the appeal worked. They got a new trial. Second trial comes. Many notes and testimonies had been left out from the first trial that end up getting in the new trial. And then he wins the new trial.
Oh, it's going to happen to Scott Peterson.
So the kids, Ella and Alex, still think Claus did it, and they sue him for $56 million to get to where he gets nothing from their mother's estate, which they do that successfully. This is a very staircasey trial.
So they do get the money?
Yeah. Or they prevent him from getting the money.
Okay.
Which it's kind of like he
wasn't going to get it because he went to jail for it anyways.
I mean, yeah.
So then when he got acquitted, he was going to get it.
And then they sued him for it.
But let me tell you.
What if they were behind it the whole time? The 2 kids, and he was just like a figurehead in a
conspiracy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, though. Let me tell you the worst part.
Yes, tell us, Caroline.
He marries the side piece.
For the
from all the years ago?
Oh, no. For the next 28 years, Sonny remains in a coma and dies on December 6th, 2008.
They can't bring her back?
In a rest home in New York City. This bitch was in a coma for 30 years.
That's horrible.
Take me off the machine.
No joke at that point. There's no bringing her back. They poisoned her to that state.
I know. Shocked face. That was my, yes.
30 years?
30 years.
That's horrible.
It's horrible. Horrible.
30 freaking years.
This was like a period piece when we started, then it ended 2008.
But you know what? Here's why.
Because it's the kids. The kids were like, no, we refuse to take her off. She's going to wake up and she's going to say that you did it. No, it was the kid. I think it was kids.
And they kind of pinned it on their
But I'm like, I'm pissed. Do not let me be a vegetable for 30 years. Don't even let me be 1 year. Do you want to be a vegetable for that long?
Solve my case first and then, take me off.
Well, and so I was thinking, is that why they kept her on? So that they can at least have But by
plausible
that time,
deniability that they wanted her to be alive.
no, no, I was thinking you got a body, so if she's dead, we would exhume the body to see the cause of death, but she ain't dead. We can't do toxicology,
so they can never have an autopsy.
Later.
Oh, maybe. Well, wouldn't
That's
they want her to be
brilliant.
dead so they could do it?
No, not if they're guilty. That's brilliant.
Well, it's too late though. Either way, all the drugs.
That's why she's FBI.
God, you're good.
We're out of the system.
She's so good.
No, I said it backwards, but
No, it
I
made
don't know
sense
who
to
the
me.
freak did it.
I think that the rich children did
everybody's
it,
guilty.
and they painted it on their
What if it was
stepdad,
nobody
who was
solves
like,
a problem
honestly,
like
he just wanted to be part of that
Maria.
lifestyle. He never had it in him in the first place, and those kids probably were behind it the whole time. I don't know.
What
Maybe
about-
not. That sounds like a little far-fetched.
Nobody solves.
We needed. So you think it's Maria, but Maria didn't get shit out of it.
Yeah.
Well,
no.
that we know of. Where is she now? Do we
Allegedly.
even have a last name?
Yeah, it was.
Schlockenberger or some shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's real bad. Yeah, she's from West.
She's my cousin.
Bitch, she's my cousin.
Well then,
I've never been stumped on a story. I think everybody's freaking guilty.
facts.
I
They all
think
suck.
the kids are guilty for not speaking up a year and a half before, and I think the only reason why they kept her alive is the guilt of not saying shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Like they felt guilty. Like if we saw something, we said something, if we would have said something before, then maybe she wouldn't have been dead.
I think we should try to
Or
reach
their
out to the children.
involvement. I think their involvement. Maybe they didn't want people looking into that autopsy.
Yeah, but you got to think about it. The autopsy would not even matter
At that point,
because their cause of death after being in a coma for so long
would have been erased.
Be totally different
No, you're right.
than like if she would have died that night that she was unconscious. Like she would have needed to die that night for us to have evidence of
But
how
their
she
need
died
to
and what
keep
was in
her
system.
alive gave them plausible deniability. Like, oh, they love their mom, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah.
To make them look slightly more innocent. But
I don't know, but I can see Glenn Close killing that position.
Yeah, you have to go watch
I
it.
can see
Okay, so
Glenn Close killing it.
That's another movie. That's a $3 movie on freaking Prime.
Oh, but you wouldn't pay $3.19 for Murder by Numbers?
I'm gonna pay a whole
Wait,
$7, and I'm gonna watch them both again. Okay, the movie is it's ROF.
Don't. She said it
Residents
17
of
times.
Freedom. I can't.
Resident Evil.
God damn it! I've
no, it's cool.
no. I did this earlier.
I would like to watch the movie.
I know. I'm gonna watch it. I'm watching it, and I'm watching Murder by
The
Numbers.
Innocents.
Reversal of Fortune.
Watching that tonight.
Glenn Close and Jeremy, who is actually famous and he looks familiar, but I can't remember his name. Reversal of Fortune.
Jeremy Renner?
Ooh, no.
I love him. Okay.
Oh, goodness. That was good. That was good. I was all into it. The Royals. Money.
Yep.
It backs up what I said last week. I do not want to be rich and famous.
Just rich.
It's no.
Just comfortable.
Oh, especially not rich.
Yeah, not rich.
Like you kept saying
I don't
rich.
need to be rich. Yeah,
Wouldn't mind having a little bit of money.
Like
and a
I
few
wouldn't
fans.
mind being like, okay, let me pay off all my shit and then I'll be fine, and let me be able to just. I just want to be comfortable. I need to be rich. I just want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
So.
Woo, money. It drives a lot
Shelby,
of evil.
how did you like your first experience on podcast?
I mean,
Thank you for being here.
It was so exciting. I'm so honored to join y'all today. Thank you very, very much.
Great. Oh, now she wants to talk in the microphone.
Thank y'all so much. Please take my Pure Bar class.
All right.
And don't make me look dumb online, please.
Go to Pure Bar. Go take Shelby's class. I'm going to go. We're gonna
Get yourself
I'm going
therapy.
to make April go.
I'm not going to bar.
BetterHelp therapy,
I don't
too.
like group exercise anymore after a trillion years.
whatever.
I'll do private lessons with you because you're awesome.
Oh, you got a special discount.
All right, y'all. I guess this is it. This was a long episode. You're welcome. Let's just go ahead and say this is your Patreon episode, too.
I think so.
All right. We will see y'all next week for a whole new week and all good stuff. Shelby, come back and see us anytime. And you tell us the story we should talk about next time.
Ooh.
Oh, shoot.
Find one.
Oh,
You
shoot.
may be a permanent guest.
I will email Caroline.
Okay. All right, y'all. Don't forget to
Stay aware.
stay alive.
And always BTTF.
Down to find. Down to find. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Woo!
Hey, I'm Blair.
And I'm Brittany. And we're the host of
By the Cover Podcast.
We cover everything from mysteries, thrillers, romance, chick lit, and even some smut.
Don't forget the smut.
Yeah.
We're so excited to get this thing going and share this with you guys. We've been talking about this for months, and it's finally happening.
Yes.
Special shout out to Rogue Media for helping us with this.
For sure. For sure. You can find us on Instagram at bythecover_podcast.
You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok, so don't forget to give us a follow on those too also.
And we are so excited to dive into some of our favorite books and share those with you.
We can't wait. Hope you love it.
Hi, and welcome to Bustles and Bangers with your hostess, Rachel and Christopher.
I love it when you say my name.
And you didn't say hi.
I didn't. You just kept going. I'm going to introduce the book. I'm not reading it.
It's
because I don't like reading.
Girls like cowboy butts, and those jeans don't hide anything. Find us on Instagram at Bustles and Bangers or on RogueMediaNetwork.com.
Hey, I'm Katie. And I'm Summer. And this is Monsters in the Attic. So we thought we'd bring people on. Yeah.
It's very real, and we're fortunate to have a lot of friends who have a lot of monsters, and we can't wait to share them with you.
I love that we're so fortunate that we have so many friends with so many monsters. Where can people find us?
Facebook, Instagram, and everywhere they listen to their favorite podcast.
They can find me at my therapist's office.
As they should.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.